everyone, this is Colleen with Cards by Coco, and I'm really happy if you can join my Saturday live today. You know, during the summer months, I'm so inconsistent with the times I can go live, but I'm really happy I had a few moments to pop on today. Anyway, today I am working with the Gathering Together stamp set. If you're here, please say hello, leave a comment. And I absolutely love this stamp set. And we are going to be making an easy card, because you all know I love an easy layout that is easy to replicate. I have other samples for you, so hang with me and I will show you those when we have completed this card. Let's go ahead and start I'll show you everything as we work through it, but let's go ahead and start creating this lovely card together. So I am using fall colors. Thanks, Wendy. Thanks for popping in. I am using fall colors. So we are going to start with some Cajun Craze. I am definitely a summer person if you've known me for a minute. But it's been kind of fun for me to grab out the fall colors. So 8.5, 11, one sheet of cardstock. So you get 2 card bases out of 1 sheet of cardstock. And just give that a cut. Rotate your paper to the 4 1/4 inch mark. And go ahead and score that. So card base is done. Let's get our second layer done. I'm using Early Espresso. And we want this at 5 1/4 inch by 4 inches. I always tell everyone, don't listen to anything I say on the video with measurements, but they'll always be right on the blog. So 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And sorry if my throat sounds a little bit froggy. I've had just the worst time fighting these fall allergies. Anyway, so each strip is 1.5 inches by 3 3/4. The easy way to do it is to take a piece that is 3 3/4 and then go over to 4.5 inches. Because we want our paper, our images to line up like this. So by cutting it in 4.5 inches, we can take our paper, designer series paper, at the 1.5 inch mark. I'm going to turn this over so I keep everything in order. Bring this other piece to the 1.5 inch mark. And then our paper is in order for when we lay it down on this piece of paper, on that piece of cardstock. So easy peasy, right? You know that's how I roll. I love an easy project. Let me show you the designer series paper because it is gorgeous. Take a peek at how beautiful that gold is in there. Okay, fall colors. I've moved away from my pinks and purples and my yellows. I used a lot of yellow this summer. This seems to be the summer I fell in. Well, I've always loved sunflowers, but really just created so many things with the sunflower pattern. Okay, let's do some stamping on a scrap of basic white, and then we're going to do some embossing and some die cutting. So I don't need a piece that big, so I'm just going to trim that off. Let's go ahead and grab the Your Friendship Means the World to Me. I love to send out friendship cards. Early Espresso. Let's go ahead and do that. And you know, I think sending out cards has been so much fun. I always, of course, I make a lot of cards, so I always have cards to send out, but it's so nice. Okay, just that easy. My hint when you use the red rubber stamps is to lightly ink and don't press too hard because you don't want a halo around your image. You just want to do, it's hard. You'll get the feel for it. Anyway, so, and I use the Peaceful, what are they called again? Everything's kind of new to me, so I don't have everything completely memorized. The Peace on Earth dies. This comes with these 2 great dies that are perfect for sentiments, and that's what I used. So let's go ahead. I want to put this one here like that, and I'm going to adhere it in place because I don't want it moving on me. And then I have another scrap of early espresso that I'm going to take. It's over here, and this piece will lay there. So we need plate 1, plate 2, and both of plate 3s. So 2 and 3, and we're going to pop that one there, and I'm going to go ahead, and it's probably all going to shake the camera for a minute, but I'm going to take this off camera and give this a little run it through the cut and emboss machine. Guys, I'm having the worst time finding my words today. So here we go. How nice did that turn out? Now for the fun part. I'm going to take this piece off here. For the fun part here, now that we have this together, I don't know what got on that. Let me just get that off there. I don't want to have to redo it. But you know, I don't think I'll have to. I think it's okay. And let's go ahead and I'll show you the fun part here, because I really have taken to using my embossing folders on my larger sentiment pieces. And I'm just going to pop that in there. And you use plate 1, pop your embossing folder, and plate 4. And I'm going to run it through, again, the cut and emboss machine. So if the camera's wiggling, I'm sorry. And then let me show you how this turned out. Isn't this gorgeous? I love this, the little extra point of interest on that larger sentiment piece. Okay, let's put this card together. Oh, you know, I think these are going to fall. Let me move these out of the way. There we go. Let's put our card together now. I like to use liquid glue on embossed cardstock. It gets in the grooves a little bit better. I don't really know if it holds it any better. It just makes me feel like it does. So there we go. That part is done. And now we have our 3 pieces here. And you can see how they lined up by cutting them in that one big piece and then doing the 1.5 inch strips after we had that 4.5 inch piece cut. I like how it just all lines up. So what I like to do when I'm doing anything with 3 panels is I like to more or less get the outsides, what I think looks right, and then I adhere the middle one first. And I'm going to use liquid glue just because I might need some wiggle room. And then I'm going to pop that down. You could grab a ruler. Your grid paper is wonderful to help line things up and center things. But honestly, I'm just eyeballing it. Straighten it out a little bit. There we go. And then we'll just lay down the other 2 layers on the side, either side, lining up at the top and at the sides as best you can. Remember, it's handmade, so it's okay if it's not 100% perfect. Let's go ahead and do this. I can't believe we're already almost halfway through September. I feel like we were all just talking about planting flowers. Okay, so easy. How easy is that? Let's grab some of this amazing linen thread that comes in this suite. It comes in Old Olive and the Early Espresso. And I'm going to stick with the Early Espresso. Let's grab that. Oh, I'm tangled up there. And I'm going to just run a strip of this seal on either side to anchor it in place. Just makes it easier for me to hang on to. And right down the center. And like I said, I do have samples to show you at the end. of the other cards and using some other stamp sets and designer series paper that I've used. That looks good. Let's go ahead and give this a burnish here. I'm just gonna go like that. How nice is that? And grab our glue. You could go ahead and stay with the seal. I'm just gonna grab the glue. I'm gonna put a little bit on that twine. Again, I don't know that it really helps anything, but it makes me feel better. If you're a card maker, you know exactly what I mean when I say that. Okay, perfect. We want to center our sentiment piece there. That's kind of a tongue twister for me. Let's go ahead and go like this. I think I just heard my husband pull in the driveway. I'm hoping he doesn't barrel in the house. I thought he'd be gone longer. Let's see here. Pull these off. And give this, just center that on the card. So pretty. So pretty. It's one of my favorite layouts. It's so easy to create beautiful cards with this layout. I think it does need a bit of a bow. But then again, I kind of think everything needs a little bit of a bow. So don't take my word for it. Okay. Well, there we go. Let's give these tails a little trim. May need to take more off. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it looks when it's done. I'm going to use a mini glue dot. I have another one, thank goodness. This one's almost done. And I'm just going to tuck this right there in between those threads, off to the side, and pop my bow right there. How fun is that? And you can trim those threads down a little bit more, or you can leave them long, whatever you like. Kind of twist your bow around. Oh, that's so pretty. And let me show you the gems that come with this suite. Let me move a few things out of the way here. These are the Cajun Craze in gold dots. You guys, these are so pretty in person. You can really pick up the gold in there. Just beautiful. And I am just going to do my standard, just kind of scatter about. You know, where do I want these? I think I'll put one there. And I like to usually start with the large, medium, and small. I tend to use all different sizes. There we go. Let's put a small one up there in the corner. Now, so the outside of our card is done. All we need to do is put our inside panel in there, which I'm actually not going to adhere at this point in time because I want to write my note first. So, but this is how it would look. I'll show you what I did to dress up the inside panels using some of the other stamp sets. So these are 3 that I've made using this designer series paper. Like I said, when I went crazy with this layout, I went crazy with this layout. So, and then for this one, I used the Gather stamp from the same stamp set. Right there, it says Gather. And what I did is I took one of my, not a blending brush, one of my daubers, and I just did a little bit of old olive around the side there to give it a little bit more interest. And I added a little bit of the designer series paper to the inside. Oh, thank you, Jeanette. Thanks for popping in. And I thought that was so pretty. Then, of course, I had to use another one, and I used crushed curry for the background. Same layout, different look. For this one, I used the Peaceful Garden Suite with that ribbon and the gems and that gorgeous designer series paper. I left the inside blank completely. Used a white background because it's a sympathy card, and I like to keep my sympathy cards very classic, very simple. This uses the celebratory sips, and this designer series paper and everything, it is on low inventory. This has been one of my absolute favorites, and I just thought it was a really fun way to show off that designer series paper. These would be those little glasses, but I thought it looked so fun on this card like this. And of course I coordinated the ribbon. This is just some old ribbon that I had. I pull out all the retired stuff when I'm having fun in my craft room. So you can see all the cards I made this week using this simple layout. Fall, summer, anything you have. So thanks so much for popping in today and for commenting. I really appreciate it, and I'll hopefully see you next week.